President Trump continues to focus on the criminal side of illegal immigration, and now some believe he has the numbers to back up his claims. According to a Department of Justice report, immigration offenses account for half of all federal arrests. The report also noted that 1% of immigration offenders who were released in 2012 ended up back in federal prison within 3 years. 61% of all federal arrests were in the 5 districts along the U.S.-Mexico border. So what effect is illegal immigration having on our criminal justice system? That's our topic this half hour, and we want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. We've posted topics for you there, and on Twitter. You can always tweet me at Sally Mack, Fox 26. Joining us live here in the studio is our senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico, Democratic media consultant, Mustafa Tamiz, and Republican strategist and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what do you get out of these numbers and this report that has been released?
So it depends on how you're looking at it and how you analyze the report. First, it was only a one-year study, and that really can skew the numbers. And second, you have to look at how we allocate resources. For 30, 40 years, we allocated our resources solely and completely towards only the war on drugs. And President Bush and President Obama then started allocating resources towards illegal immigration and focusing resources on border crossings and enforcing illegal reentry. Jackie Bally, and I think that shows, and as the report says, that shows the increase in immigration filings.
You always have people who are going to look at statistics and argue for or against based on their own belief system. One of the reasons why the Department of Justice released these numbers is because they're asking for help in making sure that immigration laws are maintained. When you have the typical Democratic mantra of saying that, look, we're going to ignore these numbers or skew these numbers because these illegals are hoping that they hopefully will become citizens and vote for their Democratic candidates. I mean, you're pushing another narrative. Now, with all of that said, Rasmussen just released a poll that said 40% of our voters and Americans, Democrat or Republican, feel that sanctuary cities are unsafe, and 60% want our immigration laws to be upheld. At the ending of the day, these people are entering illegally. They are not immigrants, they are illegals, because immigrants are people who are law-abiding citizens who respect our laws and policies.
And Mustafa Tamiz, when I'm having trouble with my box here, when George Bush and Barack Obama stepped up enforcement, Donald Trump's just really following along exactly where they were, isn't he?
Well, it's not in what he's saying, and it's hard to understand where he's headed with this. But the reality is that there's been net negative in immigration, meaning there's less people coming through than people are leaving now, and that's just a fact. And so, you know, these studies and things of that nature are always spun to say that illegal immigrants are committing crimes, when from everything from the left to the Cato Institute on the right says that undocumented or documented immigrants have a much lower crime rate than people that are born in the country.
Well, that's not what this study indicates, though. I mean,
no,
the study indicates this study indicates that you've got people coming back at a higher rate, back into the system at a higher rate.
This study indicates that illegals, these are not immigrants, these are illegals. They're coming into the country and they're committing a large majority of the crime, over half of federal cases, and hence why the Department of Justice released it, and hence why they're asking for help.
All right, let me go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
Okay, let's take a look at a couple of Facebook comments that have just come in on, I didn't know if my mic was up, let me try that again. Let's take a look at a couple of the Facebook comments that have just come in on Chris Tritico's Facebook page here. Bruce says, criminal side, as an immigration lawyer, I see ICE grabbing non-criminals every day. Very sad. Leslie says, I still do not understand what part of illegal isn't being enforced.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that. We're having some connectivity problems here today this morning, so let's talk about that. I want to talk about what Bruce said, because I see that in my practice every day. You know, we've got ICE agents coming to the courthouse, arresting, dressed in plain clothes, and working with law enforcement, arresting people right in the courtroom who are just there taking care of their business. You've got other people being swept up into the system. This is a much stepped up effort that we've seen from George Bush and Barack Obama.
Yes, our current president campaigned on this. He campaigned on the fact that he wants to make sure that illegals are not entering at the large numbers that they were entering before. And we've done this on the show, we've seen that there's been a slower number of people coming through our borders since our president has been elected.
Well, that started under Barack Obama, did it not?
Well, I mean, look, it's Barack Obama, to his critics, will always say he has deported more people than any other United States president because he upped the enforcement. But that is not the same as committing crime. What most people think crime is robbery, murder, rape. All of those statistics show that whether it's illegal immigrants or legal immigrants have a substantially lower rate than people born in the United States. And that's something that is I mean, this is the fact.
Like him or not, you got to give Donald Trump credit. He ran on this, he said he was going to do it, and he's doing it.
And the reason why Donald Trump is going to get another term is something my colleague just said. He continues to lump, and something a lot of Democrats do, he continues to lump illegal people entering the country illegally and people who are law-abiding and obeyed our laws. They don't like being lumped in that category, and definitely American citizens don't consider them the same.
I don't know you can give a second term on that.
Undocumented, let me be more clear. Undocumented people in the United States commit crime at a lower rate than people born in the United States. That's a fact that's noted by the Cato Institute, which is not known for its liberalism.
When the Department of Justice says, look, a lot of our resources are going into trying to detain or going into all of these illegals committing crime. Over half of our resources are going towards illegal immigrants, and we need help in enforcement of laws. That's something we can't ignore.
But when you decide as policy, this is the way I'm going to do it, you can't then turn around and say that's the problem. Can you?
I don't quite understand the question, but I will.
I decide as policy, I'm going to put all of my enforcement in going after glasses. I can't then say glasses is the problem.
I think most importantly, the policy is these people are committing crimes coming into our country, and we need to enforce our laws.
We got to leave it right there. We'll be back in the next hour with two really good topics.
Okay, we look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks so much. Right now.